Hey everybody, welcome to Smitty's Art Explorations art instruction videos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate you coming here and hanging out and having some fun with me. All right. In this video, we're going to talk about basic pencil illustrations. Okay. First off, if you'd like, you can find me on Instagram at Smitty Art Explorations. That's my profile name. And if you feel like you're being generous, and you got a lot out of this video or any of my other videos, um, any donations would be greatly appreciated. Um, Along Cash App, my profile name is $SMITICE. That's $SmithIce. Um, Once again, if you are feeling generous, I couldn't thank you enough. These donations help go towards further videos, right? Um, but either way, they're always going to be free no matter what, because I just want to spread what I know, and I let other people have the fun that I have doing what I've been doing since I was 5 years old. Okay, all right, let's get down to it. So, if you watch my second art supply video, all right, I talked about type of pencils and supplies you're gonna want to have on hand, right? Um, Here, my Stettler Blues pencil set. I do have a few from a different company. I just haven't had time to get to the art supply store to fill up those particular pencils with the Stellars. Okay, I got my brush. I got my pencil sharpener. I got my sketchbook. Got myself a little shaving tray. And one thing I didn't mention in the video, the supply video, was this. Okay, this is a lead pointer, right? So after you sharpen your pencil, right, you're gonna stick your pencil in here, okay, and you're just gonna spin it around like that, right? Okay, so what that does is it creates a finer point on your lead. Now, what's inside here is just a cylinder file, okay, and all it does is just grind off your lead to make it a finer point. I don't ever use this because my pencil sharpener does just fine. If you happen to have a pencil sharpener that's doesn't sharpen very well, this will take care of the trick for you. But you got to be mindful because this will definitely break the tips off if you grind it too hard, right? So just so you know. All right. That said, let's talk about the range of pencil leads, right? So once again, this is a 19 pencil set, right? The pencil lead ranges from hardness to softness. Starts at a 9H here, right? Okay, and then 8H, 7H, 6, 5, 2H, and then it gets to H, F, HB, B, 2B, 3B, all the way to 8B. Okay, now this particular brand of pencil, right, actually has a 9B. However, if you look, that 9B isn't nearly as dark as the 8B of the Stettlers. That's another reason why I really like the Stettlers, because they have the deepest dark tones, right, that you can get. So I just wanted to point that out as well, right? Now, one thing you can do, when you're using your soft lead pencils, like a HB or 7B, right? You can double back with a harder pencil like a 3H, and you can go over it, okay? And it's gonna press the lead down some more into your paper or your illustration board, okay? Speaking of illustration board, this is an illustration board, right? So what this is, is when you're gonna do a final project illustration, or something for a client, you don't want to put in your sketchbook. You want to put on something you can mat or frame when you're done, right? This is a cold press illustration board. It basically has the same texture as paper itself. Okay. When you get done, you'd want to spray coat it with a protective spray. They do make a hot press board, which is a lot smoother. It's more like a waxy finish almost, right? And that's good for certain applications. Mostly, I'd say for markers, but or pen and ink, that sort of thing, that sort of medium. But for pencils and graphite, or any type of softer medium, yeah, the cold press board, you know, it works better, in my opinion. Just has a better effect or finish quality to it. Okay. All right. So that's the breakdown of that. Now, something else you're gonna want to have on hand. All right. Um, just a damp cloth, okay? Because you're gonna get lead on your fingers. Damp cloth's gonna, clean it off, and then a dry towel to clean off your hands before you start getting back onto the paper. Okay. All right. Now, at a certain point in this video, we're gonna talk about perspective drawing. Right. So if you got a ruler, doesn't have to be a metal ruler. Ruler, it can be a plastic one or a wooden one. That's fine. What you want to do is lay some tape on the back side. Okay. Because generally speaking, rulers, especially metal ones, they got residue that's gonna rub off on your paper. So this tape here will help keep that from ruining your drawing or your illustration. All right, now let's get into lighting. So here you can see I already drew 4 basic shapes, right? So circle, square, pyramid, and cylinder. Okay, now the circle we're going to turn into a sphere using shading. Okay, and the square, you can you can draw the other sides. Just imagine it's a cube. I'm going to do a drop shadow on it, so then we'll create that effect. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 4H pencil, and if you got when you're just starting out, if you want to start with like an 8 pencil set, that's fine. It'll probably come in a range of like 6B to 2H. And you can buy all these range of pencils separately, anyways. So if you do get a large set like the 19, when the pencil does run out, you just go get the individual pencil itself, at your local art store. You don't have to buy the whole set again, right? It's pretty ridiculous. But all right, so for the sphere, right? My lighting source is going to come in from the front at a downward angle. So basically, that's my point where the light's hitting, right? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start just following the edge of the sphere drawn on the inside, okay? And I'm just going to come around. Now, what's happening is this edge here obviously is going to be the darkest, right? So I'm going to be adding more tone along this portion of that circle, okay? Now you can use the side of the pencil, that's all right. Play around with what angles you're actually rendering with onto the paper, okay? The closer to this faraway edge, the darker you're going to want it to be, okay? Now, it doesn't mean you press down super hard. It just means you're just lightly going over it again and again, okay? And then as I come around up to closer to the light source where it's hitting, I'm going to get closer to the edge, and I'm not really going to draw it to the center of the sphere. So, okay. So I'm coming around, and then I'm just going to lightly start showing more negative space, basically allowing the paper to come through more, right? So my lines, the space in between the lines is going to get a little wider and wider, right? Versus here at the edge, I'm basically covering the whole page, okay? So I'm coming around, right? And you start from there. All right. Now, did you notice I was basically following the edge in the circular fashion? I'm going to come back to the faraway edge, and then I'm going to bring lines on an arc towards the center of the circle, right? And I'm going to continue. I'm not going to start bringing it. I'm not going to follow all the way around, changing the angle of the arc, right? I'm going to make sure that arc stays the same as I'm just coming up, right? And then when I come closer to this portion here, I'm going to shorten those lines, but the angle of the arc is still the same. Okay. Now what you're basically doing when you're doing this is you're creating the drop shadow, right? So if you look at a ball, right? If you look at a ball, okay, my light source is coming here, right? there's a drop shadow on the surface of the ball, okay? Because this point is the point that's furthest out or furthest coming towards you, okay? And then the light's hitting here, so then the light's not coming around to this side, all right? So that's the effect you're creating, okay? And then having that arc is going to create that round effect, okay? Then I'll come back to the edge over here some more and just kind of clean it up, right? Okay, now let's switch to a softer pencil. I'm gonna go, let's go to H, right? First thing I'm gonna do is start over here at the furthest away edge, right? And I'm gonna follow the same pattern, okay? But what I'm gonna do is, now I'm basically creating more of a half moon, okay? Is what I'm doing. I'm not gonna come that much further out from this edge like I did with the first pencil I used, the 4H, right? So create that half moon or quarter moon, okay? Make sure that I'm covering all the paper over here, right? And also, ideally, you want to be sitting down at a good workstation, being comfortable when you're doing this. Positioning I'm at right now is really for your benefit, more than my ability to, be in a proper seating position at my own workstation. Okay, simply because of, I'm trying to record this for you. That's all. Otherwise, yeah, I'd be at my workstation, drawing in a nice, comfortable position. Okay, so you can see here, right, starting to take shape. I'm going to come back with this arc, right? And that's the thing about illustrating is your angles that you're laying down actually do create an effect, okay? Whether it's for lighting or texture, right? It creates that sense of realism, right? It creates a sense of three-dimensionality, right? And you can see, I'm going to come back. I'm going to double back to the 4H, right? Just to add some more up in here, okay? Some more of that roundness right on that arc. Just to fill up some more of the paper. And that's the thing, I want a nice gradation, right? I don't want to have sections, okay? Light doesn't necessarily work that way if you have a nice smooth surface that it's reflecting off of, all right? If this had bumps on it and stuff, then you probably have like little sections running to it, or had certain angles jutting out, right? So keep coming up a little. Okay, maybe we'll even drop down to a 6H, right? Or just really lightly, bring it over, fill in those gaps. Just trying to follow that circular shape there. Okay. All right, let's go to a B pencil. All right. Now, B pencil, I'm just going to follow the edge again. Okay. Go lightly over here on the side that's closest to the light source. Okay. Then as I'm pulling away, coming down, start adding a little more pressure onto the page. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to side of the pencil. Okay, just going to follow that crescent moon that I drew earlier. Right? Shift the book around a little bit. Sometimes you got to do that, Shift your page around. You need to make it easier for you to to draw without, you know, torquing your wrist up too much or something. Okay, and I just get lighter and lighter the closer I get to that light source, right? In terms of the amount of pressure I'm putting down. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to be putting down too much pressure with the harder pencils, because then it's really gonna put indents in the page, right? That's what you have the softer lead pencils for. Okay. And especially when you start getting to working with illustration boards, you definitely don't want to be too much pressure, because you're just gonna have all these grooves, you know, in your board, in your illustration, and they're gonna show, you know, and it's really gonna ruin the quality of your work. Okay, so, you know, play with this. That's what sketchbooks are for, right? Is to play around with testing the amount of pressure that you should be using per pencil, per lead softness, and so forth. All right. Okay. Now let's go with let's just go with the 4B. All right. So the 4B, you know, once again, I'm going to do it light, right? But now I'm just going to do a kind of just around the edge there. Okay. Darken that up some. Okay. I'm not even going to bring it to the other side. Not at all. Right? Do that small arc. What this arc does too, you know, it helps to fill in the paper at a different angle. Okay. One thing you're going to start seeing when you're drawing with pencils is, you know, you're doing it one way and you're like, wow, why is this not, you know, why is the page still coming out? You're coming at another angle and suddenly it fills in more and you're like, oh, okay, that's just the way it is. Great. You know, so remember that part too, you know, that the direction that you're rendering, right, can only cover up so much of the page. Okay. So you got to come back at another angle to really fill in the page, like I did up here in the tone palette, right? Okay, so there's the sphere. That's what it's basically like when you got a light source coming in front. Okay, we'll come in and just kind of even it out a little more, right? Soften it up, right? Okay. Now, if I really want to show some more dimensionality to it, what I want to do is create a drop shadow. Basically, you know, my light source coming here means my shadow's behind it, right? So I'm just going to kind of do an oval kind of shape, you know. But I'm not going to show the whole thing, all right? And here, there. Now the drop shadow, your darkest point, you know, let me just get that out of there real fast. All right, kind of overextended a line. Brush, there we go, so I don't ruin nothing and smudge it with my hand wiping away. All right, so with the drop shadow, right, your darkest point is going to be where the ball hits the ground. So it's going to be right there. Okay. And then as I'm pulling away, it's going to get lighter and lighter, right? And I'll, you know, I can add a little more definition there, right? Just to make the edge of the ball a little more defined, okay? But here, in drop shadow, I'm not going to be as dark along this edge as the ball is, right? Because this part of the shadow is actually further away from the back side of the ball, okay? I'm just going to fill that in, right? Give it a little more. Just kind of make it nice and smooth. Come back with a hard lead pencil to smooth it out a little, right? And I just go lighter the further away I go from the ball. And then there, I just gave it a plane, so now it looks like it's sitting on something. You know, if you want to put a line there, you can do that. Alright, so that's the sphere. Now, let's talk about cube. So, going back to the 4H, okay, my light source is coming here. It's basically going to hit that corner, right? So, what I'm going to do is come from this side at an angle and start bringing it up, right? And the closer I get to the light source, the lighter it's going to get, okay? So I'm basically just going, not even touching the page, right? Now what you got to think about here with the cube is that light is basically projecting out in this fan fashion, right? So this edge and this edge, you know, are going to be lighter coming closer to that corner, right? So I'm not going to have these diagonal lines go all the way to the outer edge here and here, right? They'll basically brush up to that corner and to that corner, but then they'll start shortening the closer I get to the light source corner, okay? Okay. Now, because it's a flat surface on the cube, right? You can do an up and down, you know, just to fill it in some more, okay? But once again, you don't want to get all the way from edge to edge, right? But it's also once again, it's going to make it really flat. So you don't want to be overemphasizing that up and down, okay? Now let's go to the H. And once again, follow that angle here. Filling in the paper there, and then down here. Alright. Now obviously this is going to be the darkest part of the square or the cube. Pick a pick. We'll make it into a cube when we do the drop shadow. Okay. And it doesn't, you know, the way light works too is, you know, you're not necessarily going to have straight lines, you know, as they're pulling away, as they're pulling away from those two corners, right? You know, you can have them be kind of sketchy and everything. Okay. Let's go straight for the 2B. All right. And I'm just gonna lightly start making the lines wider and wider apart, and then also shorter. Right. As they get closer to the light source. And then just add in that there. That's the edge. And then that there. Alright. Add some more pressure. Kind of fill that in. Oh. Alright. Now, if you make a mistake drawing, you know, if it's a slight one, See if you can make a correct it without actually having to erase it, right? And I'll show you how to do that. So I had a little bit of an overextension there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with a harder pencil, right? And just go over it, fill it in some more, okay? Kind of blend it in basically, right? And then lightly go back over those light areas, right? Make sure I'm blending all that in so you got a nice gradation, okay? Okay. Let's just go with the 4B. And we'll just hit there. And I'm going to go lighter on the pressure as I'm pulling away from the far corner. All right. Nice and light, nice and light. Make sure when you start, you got all your pencils are sharpened. Okay. Now that's what I did before I started. Is I sharpened all my pencils, got a nice tip. Just point to them. Okay, and then I'm gonna go about there. Then I'm gonna double back. Let's double back with the 4H. Right. Just to blend it all in a little more. Make sure it doesn't look all sectional from the different pencils I've been using. Okay, I'll just add different angles here. Shorten that up. Different angle here. Shorten that up. Alright. Oh, there. Alright. Drop shadow real fast. I'm going to turn this into a cube. Okay, so if my angle's coming in here, right, grab an HB pencil, and I'm just going to throw in an extended line coming out at an angle, right? Then I'll throw another one there. Okay. And then I'll just put that line there. Alright. Once again, surface of the cube that's touching the ground is going to be the darkest. Okay. It's a slight angle. And then I'm just going to do some light shading behind it. Alright. Just as an indicator that it's resting on the ground. Okay. And close to the edge, darker the drop shadow is going to be. And the pull away gets lighter. All right. And let me come back with the 4B just to really define these lines a little more. There you go. All right, there's the cube. All right. Pyramid. Okay, now this time the light source is coming from the back side. Okay, so 4H. Now, since it's coming in from the back, on the back side, this is my darkest point. Okay, so basically I'm just going to fill this in. I'm just going to go straight up. All right. And fill in the whole side. Okay. I'm going to do this here. Come on the upward side. I'm going to change as I get closer to the center of this side. I'm basically going from an angle to straight up and down. Okay. And then as I pull away to the other side, I'm going to follow that angle to that edge there. Right? Now, since my light source is coming here, but it's hitting on that back slope, right? I don't necessarily want to have it too dark on this side. This side's going to be my darkest side, right? So here and here, you know, I'm just going to do this. Okay, and so the closer I get to the light source, the less pressure I'm going to put down on the pencil, right? And then on this side here, we're basically going to follow a similar concept that we did with the cube, right? We're going to create that angle there, right? And then just lightly go over it until barely even touching the paper as I get to the top. Okay. And pretty much the edge, I'm going to leave that edge alone. Okay. Alright, switch to another pencil. Let's go to the H. This is nice and dark going up. I'm just going to make sure I got a good fill, right? And hit it proper there. And I got a good fill coming up. Alright, and once again, angle, hit center going up and down. And then I'm pulling away from center, and then I'm changing to the opposite angle, lightening it up, right? Okay, and then for the back, or the right side, same concept as the square. Coming up at an angle, I get to that far bottom corner, and then I'm going to start pulling away from that edge, from that back edge, right? So I get to basically a point at the top. Okay. All right. Let's do 2B. 2B and up 2B. Okay, so here I'm going to really define that edge now, that bottom edge. All right. And I'm going to extend that out slightly. Okay. And here, just a little bit. All right. Just lightly define that edge some more. Same thing with the top here, just lightly define that edge. Now when I get close to the bottom, you hit it heavy. Okay, so going heavy, and as I start getting to higher up now, because this is a soft lead pencil, right, I'm going to lighten up with the pressure, right? So I don't want to have this side all just flat dark tone, right? Because the light, there's less surface space here on the top, so the light's still going to wrap around slightly, okay? Because that's what light does, right? So as I get closer to the top, then I'm going to veer away from that right edge, right, and lighten it up. I'm going to go back down and hit more pressure and darken it up, okay? And then once again, up and down, same concept, right? As I'm down low, more pressure, but as I get higher up, less pressure, and then I'm going to go straight up and down vertical as I get to center, right? And as I get to the right edge, I start shortening those lines so they're not going up all the way to the peak. And then also, I'm lightening the pressure of the pencil. Alright. Double back a little, fill in some of that paper some more. Here too. Okay. Now once again with this side, very lightly in the corner, right? At a diagonal, going up. Okay. Very light. Now, this is how you train your eye, right? This is how you're training your eye. Okay. On how light is affecting tones on surfaces, right? And it'll take practice. You know, you have to do this. You know, I don't want to say a lot, but you have to do it more than once. I'll tell you that. You know, we did a lot in art school. You know, just doing this. These are practice drills, right? They're really good to, you know, just get the creative juices going. You know,
It's kind of like stretching before you work out, right? It's always good to just run some practice drills, doing stuff when you're just starting out, right? You know, you're really just exploring what light's doing on an object. That's what you're doing. Just making that exploration, seeing what the effect is, and trying to replicate it on your page. All right, 4B. So once again, hit dark on this front bottom edge, and then now I'm not going to go so heavy on the pressure because it's a softer lead pencil, right? And I'm also not going to go all the way up to the top because I don't want to have that just flat graphic look, right? I'm trying to display lighting through differentiations of tones in a nice gradual manner. Okay. And then over here, same thing, just slightly on the bottom, right? And slightly coming up on that right edge, right? But not all the way to the top. Just a little bit down there. And I'm going to keep it down low. Right down there. Okay. There's your pyramid. From the light, from the rear light source. Now, if you want to put a drop shadow in, you can do that. You know, basically just imagine it as the light's coming on this angle. So then, boom, your light source is going to come in this direction, right? And then you just fill it in. You know, now you're just giving it some depth and all that good stuff. Yeah. And once again, I'm going to follow that angle. All right. Now, if you have these types of objects at home, you know, everybody probably got a ball. Everybody's got some kind of box, you know, triangle or pyramid. You know, you can make one of those out of a box pretty easily. You know, you basically put a box on a corner and cut it in half, and there you go. There's your pyramid, right? And once again, just lightly as I pull away from the edge, and get lighter and lighter on the pressure, right? And you know, the edges on your drop shadows aren't going to be wicked dark either, right? Your darkest point on a drop shadow is going to be directly what's opposite your light source, right? That's your darkest point, okay? So there, right? Same thing with the square. My darkest point is directly opposite the light source, right? Okay. Cylinder. You get yourself an empty roll of paper towels. You use that cardboard. You can put some tape over that. You got yourself a cylinder. All right. So the cylinder